Hey, what's up everyone? It's Algo, and thanks for joining me on another weekend watch list building session. Today is Sunday, August 15th, and we are going to find some stocks and options to trade for this week. We're going to be using the Smart Money Dark Pool block trade algorithm software to find some divergence, hopefully. I'm very bullish by nature, so we're going to try to find some plays that are going to run this week. I went through and did a pretty exhaustive scan research, pulled up about 5 tickers that we can get into for this week. The overall list has got about 10 or 15. Obviously there's some players out there that are going to move based on news, events, things like that. So OPEX is this week also, so keep that in mind. Typically the market's gone down whenever that's happened, so just gotta be aware of what's going on in the overall market. I would recommend looking at futures to begin with, just to see what's going to happen, because those are, futures drive the bus. Next, I would check into any sectors that your stock may be in, SPY, IWM, QQQ, for example. Going from there, go ahead and check out stock itself. Looking, I always like to start with, maybe weekly, then daily, then 4-hour, and then once you find your setup or whatever you want to do, then just make sure that you use those lower time frames to get in and get out of your entries. None of this is a recommendation. These are all my personal opinions. I am trading for a personal journal, so I am not a stock advisor. This is not a recommendation. Do your own due diligence. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So with that being said, we've been pretty successful the last couple of weeks. We've been calling out some pretty good bangers. We've been early on a couple, so I just want to just to be aware, when we're looking at divergence, it doesn't mean that it's going to play out that day, that week. Some divergences can take 2, 3, 4, 6 weeks. So just keep that in mind and manage yourself accordingly. So with that being said, all I ask in return is you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm of small content creators, especially small content creators in the stock market, trying to teach people, education where, it's a tough business. I'm out here just doing it because I love the stock market, love helping people out, I love sharing the knowledge. So not asking for anything in return, just, do your best, do your own due diligence, and like I said, like button, subscribe, maybe even turn on notifications. So that being said, let's jump into our intro and we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. So we are going to go through the top 5 stocks I've got for this week. Now with that being said, real quick overview. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this layout, just so that everybody understands. For the new people, there's probably a video that you could watch somewhere. Well, it's probably like over here, maybe. I'm going to try that out, see if that works. That shows how I use the flow trade system. But real quick, I'll just jump into it. These white lines that you see are price action. Purple line is the regular algo. Blue lines are dark pool trades. Red lines are going to be regular block trades. If I draw a white line on the screen, it's a dark pool and a regular block trade at such a close level that it's almost indistinguishable. So just know if you see those, that's what that means. That means there's a lot of activity at that level. I'll try to use yellow for support, resistance, overall direction, reversal areas, things like that. Okay, so the stocks we have for this week is going to be IWM, Spotify, STZ, PYPL, PayPal, I'll finish that one out, PayPal, and Peloton. So, I don't know, Peloton, it's got a pretty solid setup. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into IWM, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little bit larger, just because I'm going to try to showcase some levels. Typically, I only use that 4-chart layout just because it's a little bit quicker for me to do things. But we're going to go right in. I'm using probably the last 4 to 6 days worth of data for the dark pool levels. Alright, so with IWM, the reason I chose the stock is, we'll get into the technical analysis in a minute, it's continuing to make some pretty higher highs and higher lows, right, on a daily. So currently we've got a little bit of resistance that just barely began. So like I said, doesn't mean that it's going to play out tomorrow, but it is showing, you know, nice bullish direction. Excuse me. Bullish direction. We got a little bit of a curly Q coming up here on the last, you know, at the end of the day, Friday. We did sell off, kind of like everything did, but it looks like we're really trying to maintain, you know, maybe this longer term, right? It's pretty long term, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Obviously, support and resistance levels are really important, as with everything, okay? So as far as regular block trades that are going to be effective, we've got one coming in here at, what is this, 222.30, right? That's going to be our first overhead resistance. Obviously, the goal is to get to this 223.84 level, right? And we've got another block trade at 222.50. So we've got some regular block trades there. It looks like IWM, a lot is happening on the dark pool. Lots of stuff happening. 221.03, right? That's our support. And then we've got a cluster that's going to run from about 221. It's about a 30-cent cluster in here. So what I'd like to see happen is for IWM to maintain this longer-term trendline support, right? Kind of break out of this. Let's see, it's got a long-term falling wedge. We'll just keep an eye on it. Yeah, so we'd like to see it come up and test, you know, this block, this dark pool level at 221.35. If it can get above that, then I would believe that it's a good candidate to continue to go long. IWM on the, looking at it from a technical analysis standpoint, right? Long-term uptrend, kind of been choppy the last couple of weeks. I do like that it bounced off the monthly top back into the daily mid. I'm looking for that break above 221.35, right? 221.35 puts us above, excuse me, above the daily mid, right? We've got a squeeze that's going to be released. MACD is positive and increasing. Overall looks pretty good. Not trying to make, you know, $10 or $20 off this, but excuse me, if we can get a move up to the daily top at 225, I'd be happy, right? It's a nice $5 move. So what I saw here was, this is a pretty significant double bottom. If this level breaks, right, then we've got to play to the downside, right? But it's looking like, I don't even know where. Yes, we can do that. Alright, I guess that's fine for now. So on the right hand side, looking at the daily, we're currently trading at the mean, which is 1 ATR. We've got, we closed below the point of control, so we've got a little bit of room to move back up to the point of control at 222. Above 222, we're going to start testing VWAP and 1 ATR, previous highs 225. So that would be a $5 move. So from 220 to 225, I think you can get a little bit of money, maybe some lunch money out of that. We've got a rising 200, and we've got a 50 SMA that's starting to squeeze us. So when that happens, it's going to pop out one side or the other. We are above VWAP for the highest volume. We're trading at the mean, right? So I'd like to see potential move back up to the upside. Bollinger Band squeeze is, it fired. It's starting to fade off a little bit, but on the 15-minute chart, we're starting to get a little slingshot effect coming back around. RSI is, you know, way oversold, overbought. So I always get these two confused. And we're looking for a MACD crossover. So MACD's rising. What I did like is you see that it's making higher highs, right, and higher lows. So that's general trend, generalized uptrend. So double bottom, right here off this little demand zone. It started way back here. Oh, what did I do? I hit the wrong button. Let's try that again. So there is a demand zone from way back here. Right. We're just right out of the demand zone right now. We got a little bit of a supply zone, obviously, as well. And I'm just going to use this guy for supply zone. Right, shorter term supply zone. So the move would be from 220 to 225. All right, that was IWM. Next one I wanted to look at was Spotify. And Spotify has been selling off for the last couple weeks. And it's really interesting. So the reason I looked at Spotify is this massive vertical move, taking out previous divergences, right? So we've got a very fresh divergence that occurred on the 12th, so it's got a little bit of time under its belt. I also like this one because we're currently resting at some regular block trade levels, so those are going to be providing support until they provide resistance. Okay, so this is the move that I like. Right, I like that we've got a nice curly Q at the end of the day, or excuse me, over the end of the last week. Right, we've got an overhead block trade target, right, of 214, and we've got, looks like a tiny bit of resistance at 211, and then about every 20 cents after 211.80, right, it's just going to have to stair step, which means that it's got to get through it, but once it gets through, that's pretty significant support. Okay, as far as trend-wise, IWM is, or excuse me, Spotify, I mean, it's making higher lows, and it's really attempting to make, right, it's kind of like a rising, like a megaphone pattern, right? So definitely look for it to come and try to take out the previous low. Looking at spot on the chart. Let's look at this one first. I should move this over here. There we go. Currently at the weekly bottom, daily bottom of the Keltner channels, looking for the squeeze to slingshot itself around and MACD to start rising up again. Right, so I may be a little early, and I may be kind of jumping the gun, but I like this little bottoming pattern that it's done. So this would be a double bottom on the weekly. Looking at spot on the daily chart over here. So Spotify is trading at -2 ATR, below point of control and below VWAP. So see how the MACD is neutral and increasing, looking to slingshot around with the squeeze. Prices don't like trading at -2 ATR. They like to revert to the mean. The last time Spotify did this, where it sold off to -2 ATR, -3 actually, it reverted back to the mean and then went positive. So that's the move that we're looking to have happen. Come back down. We hit -3, retraced to 1 ATR, came back down, tested -2 ATR, and we're currently at, looks like a very long-term demand zone. I'd have to go all the way back to September, or even further back in time. So this could be a fib retracement as well. Let's just throw some fibs on there and see what it looks like. So I go from high to low, right? Look at that. It tests the 382. So it is a long-term fib move. I mean, there's an argument for this being on a very long head and shoulders. So we will keep an eye on it. It looks like it's starting to make a reversal, nice bullish move the last couple days, right? Pull back, higher lows. Okay. So we've got point of control coming in at 217.38, followed by VWAP highest volume at 223.50, and then point of control is all the way up at 230. So point of control is up here. I'm moving over to the left-hand side of the screen now. Right, point of control is over here at 230. Right, which would fit within this little supply zone coming in right here. I actually like to do this on a different time frame. Let's see, it's kind of tough to find it. The daily 225 is probably going to be the target. Let's see, 230. 237. We'll look at the demand zone later because I think it's a little bit higher up. So immediately what we've got to do is you got to continue making higher highs, or excuse me, higher lows, and on with the higher highs. We do have, looks like a move back above VWAP. Looks like we've got a MACD crossover. RSI was oversold, right? Oversold, starting to retrace, looking for that squeeze to turn the corner, release, taking out previous highs at 217.12 would be a break above the 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart, and it looks like it would also be a break above point of control with highest volume. Let's see, can I get it to show? There we go. Like VWAP highest volume. Alright. Let's see if it can show values. It's not going to do it. Alright, so basically the move's back to the mean at 230. I'll be targeting 230 if we can get above 217.14. Alright, so break above. Nope, let's come up here. So I break above 217.07, which is point of control. Then look to go back long with Spotify. All right, next one on my list is STZ, Constellation brand. So this is in the cannabis sector. This is nice divergence here, right? There's no more block trades to speak of, so this is pretty much a purely price action play. But look at that. I mean, this is pretty significant. So overall, moneymakers have been buying for the last couple weeks. Good divergence that occurred. Oh, come on, just get the right tool. Right, so price initially diverged there. This is a pretty significant net buying, right? Looks like we've got a little bit of an uptrend. This could be considered a wedge, right? Looking for that wedge breakout. Definitely want to just come up here and test some of these previous this area where that divergence occurred, previous low. So we're looking to come up and test that from 213 to 218, another $5 move. STZ doesn't have the best looking candlestick patterns, right? It's not like, oh, this is easy. It does respect the weekly bottom, so every time it's hit the weekly bottom, it's kind of rejected, and it likes to hang out in that weekly top area. So currently we came back down, broke down to the weekly bottom, daily bottom, looking for the squeeze to slingshot back around, MACD to curl around and move back up to the upside. So there was a dividend paid out of 76 cents. Anytime there's a dividend payout, you can expect a drop of at least what the dividend amount is. But it did, so it did fade off into the weekly bottom. All right, we've got a $4 ATR. Said we're just looking to catch that. I'm going to catch the wedge breakout to previous lows move. STZ looks kind of similar to Etsy, right? Trading at -3 ATR. Looking for the MACD to curl back around and continue to the upside. We've got not super thrilled with that fib sequence. We're below the 200 SMA and the 50. Price does want to revert to this mean coming in here at previous lows. Like I said, 220. That's the move that we're looking to grab. We're looking to grab the move back to the newly, the supply zone, which is coming in call it. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it that. Guess we could get away with calling it that. Right. So I'm still trying to figure out from TrendSpider how to get things to show up on smaller time frames as well. It's just not letting me do it. I thought I had set it up that way, but I must be wrong. So we're -3 ATR, look for move back to 220 to 220, right? 221. That would represent a move from this nice bull flag breakout, right? Up, flag, support, breakout. So looking at price action, stack positive moving averages, we're above the 50. MACD's slingshotting, or excuse me, about to do a golden crossover. Squeeze is about to slingshot around. RSI is starting to head to oversold. This is a nice bull flag breakout here. Maybe a little early, but I do like the move at least up to the 200 SMA. So move to 216, a break above 216, and I feel like we're going to go back up to that 220 level. So let's just call it right. We can get back above that. We'd be trading up into 221. So that was STZ, stars. PayPal's next on the list. PayPal has been just slow grinding for the last couple weeks, right? We like to see stocks that are just continuing to move up. It's got some good price action. It's given us opportunities to get in and get out. I do like the fact that there's a couple gaps that are going to need to be filled. That one fell. Like this gap here is what I'm really interested in, but it's going to take us a little bit to get there. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up. The last 12 days, just because I knew there were some block trades in there. Alright, so as far as the Algo is concerned, the Algo has been pretty much straight net buying for the last, well, since the 3rd. Consolidating for the last couple days, looking like it's about to break out and up. Consolidation move. As far as support goes, I mean, it's really long and drawn out, but there's and you could consider this a really long wedge. Excuse me, like a really, really long wedge. We do have some regular block trade levels that are going to provide a little bit of resistance. Obviously, 280 is the target, which is this block trade level here that came in on the 6th. Right? 274 is our support level, which is this level here. Come on, draw the line. There we go. So it's kind of like a double support, 274, 274.43. So that looks like pretty significant support. We've got a mid-level to test at 277.37, followed by 278.22. Right. So I'd like to see price get above this falling, this overhead resistance, come up and test 277, 278, maybe back test it for a move through 280. If we get through 280, we would go and test supply zone at previous highs. Okay. So PayPal smacked into the weekly top, which is also the daily top. Got a previous high level there. Sold off back down to the monthly top. Every time it's hit this monthly top, it's just kind of broken out and above it. So back here at this level, or this area, where's my drawing tools? Here we go. So looking at this area of interest here, right? Price action sold off, came back to the monthly top, daily bottom, weekly mid, and had a nice strong move. So from the weekly top to the monthly top, weekly mid, daily bottom, right? This could be a 1, 2, 3 reversal, and let me see if I can draw that out for you. It would be this guy here, maybe. So it'd be A, B, C. So I did that. Let's see if I can do it this way. Alright, that's probably a better looking move. Right. Wu-Tang pattern setting up. Wu-Tang pattern setting up. Anyway, PayPal. So, nice move here. Back down to VWAP, point of control. This is a negative 3 ATR move. We broke below the 50 SMA, right? Don't like how I can't see where the move came from. I gotta fix that on my charts. So I'll fix that after we're done. Right? I'll come in here and fix that. But basically the move was from the high to the low. We came out and tested previous highs and we sold off. So basically a nice retracement to negative 3 ATR, looking for MACD to curl around its neutral and increasing, slingshot around with the TTM squeeze on the daily 15-minute chart. Same deal, kind of long-term consolidation happening here. Back over onto the daily. So we're looking to move back up to the mean, which is also the 50 SMA at 285. 285 is a pretty significant level for PayPal. It seems to respect that level, right? 285. This is 285. Let me show you. Something like that. So we're looking to target 285. Like I said, it's the mean and the 50 SMA, right? So it may be a long grind up, or it may just be explosive if they get any sort of news happening. But this is pretty long-term consolidation happening here. Very wiki move, so obviously it's going to be a quick move if it does move. So we got to just pay attention. So I'd look for maybe a pullback. Well, we've got support. Block level support at 274. I say 274, 274.50. So all this area here, just trying to get a grasp on it. Yeah. So what I was just looking at was the block levels were at 270, 274. Or excuse me, 274, 274.50. So that's representative of this area here. Right? That's that support level there. So break up and above. We get above 275.50, I'm going to go long. Right, so that was PayPal. And then finally Peloton. Alright, Peloton, I like this move. Right, the Algo continues to make higher highs, higher lows. Peloton makes lower lows, lower highs. Looks like it may have found a reversal place here. And while Peloton has kind of bothered me for the last couple weeks, just the way that it's moved, I think that price actions for the Algo is finally going to win the battle. Don't have a whole lot of block trades coming in, so this is going to be pretty much purely price action. You would think divergence occurred here. No, it's probably in this area there is the divergence that we're looking for. Right, so this level-ish. Right, that 114. So recent rising trendline support. We've got some previous lows that we want to take out, which is going to be resistance. Right. Got to take out those lows. Ooh, I almost nailed it with this one right over here. Yeah, so we're looking for the move back up into some supply zones. Peloton is right. So we're trading at 1 ATR, negative 1 ATR, below the 50, below the 200 SMA. I mean, we may. We're kind of at a demand zone right now, right? So kind of at a demand zone. So there's our demand zone. Look for that to provide support. A breakdown below that, and I think we're going to come back and test previous lows, this other demand zone at 104. But I think we've got to move back to the mean, point of control, and VWAP. This is strong magnets, as well as the 200 SMA and the 50. So we're looking to just let price action move naturally back to the mean, right? Pretty flat as far as the Kelvin channels go. So support, squeeze, release, maybe a little bit early. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it. If it breaks down below, the 110, be comfortable with the move down to 108. Maybe even play that move down to 108. Break below 108, then we need to just reevaluate the entire trade. So I would look for, to get long, I would look for a move above 111 and play the move to 113. Above 113. Yeah, above 113 it starts to get a little interesting. So from 113, it's the 618 retracement from this run here, from this run, from that area to here. Right, so from this move to this move, this is the retracement. Back up, didn't take out previous highs, came back down, tested it. It's supposed to be a double bottom for the move back up. I'm really just trying to get to 120. Alright, so for Peloton, if we can get above, we can play the move from 111 to 113. Break above, break and a close above 113, or maybe 113.50. We're going to try to take out previous high at 114.50. Above 114.50, then we go up and we test, would target 120. So, all right. Well, with that being said, thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Algo. I stream every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We look at take requests. We go through support, resistance, any trades that are setting up, and yeah, thanks. I really appreciate y'all showing up to help me out, and have a great day. Stay safe, stay green, and see y'all tomorrow.